there's a kid, and I want to say he might be 10 years old, but he has a YouTube channel, and it was within the last few months, and he was making a ton of money. And all he was doing was
YouTube. It's a place that you can make extra money. Did you think about that? In fact, my son asks to be a YouTuber every day. If you were to ask my 7-year-old, what is he going to be when he grows up? He will tell you, a YouTuber. And it's crazy to think that that's a possibility. And people are making millions of dollars on it. But even they're just, everyday people making a good $500, maybe $1,000 extra. So I'm here with a YouTube specialist, Vicki O'Neill, and she's actually going to go through my YouTube channel. And I want you guys in on the conversation because, like I said, we've just started this YouTube channel a month or two ago. And I had, I'm going to start this YouTube channel. It's going to be all this big aspirations. I'm going to be able to be consistent with it. And yeah. So, Vicki, you're here to help, right?
Yes. And I will say that you've already done a really good job with your videos. So it was impressive to go through and see the different topics, the different videos, and you're already doing a great job. So for the amount of time...
Have somebody creating thumbnails for me, otherwise they would never have a thumbnail. And they look really cute. Thumbnails are great. So, all right, Vicki, tell us a little about yourself and then take it over. What's wrong with my YouTube channel?
I'm Vicki O'Neill. I've been in marketing and sales, mostly on the corporate side for decades, but really went into my own business 100% about 5 years ago. And I started off with focusing on digital marketing, and then I pivoted in 2020 to focus holistically and completely on video. Because there's so many people, if you're watching this or listening to this, you might be one of those people who is fearful of getting on camera. You don't have the confidence. You don't know what to talk about, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever. So I wanted to help women over 40 in particular really leverage the amount of experience that they had and help them get more visibility and really step into their spotlight so that they can reach a new audience on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not over 40, but I want to reach a new audience on YouTube.
It's all about connections and network, right?
Right. And I think too, for me, when it comes to YouTube, one, it could be another side income because YouTube does pay you.
Yes.
And two, it's the second largest search engine outside of Google.
Exactly. And they're owned by Google, which is another benefit to having videos. And I'm sure everybody, and you've probably done it too, Kylie, when you've done a search on Google and you've got search results where you've got videos at the top of the search results. It's people who are posting videos. So they're getting pushed higher in the search results too when you have a YouTube channel and videos that are optimized.
Yeah. So let's dive into someone who's listening here and they're like me. They just started a YouTube channel or, they've been thinking about it, or they've had this YouTube channel that doesn't go anywhere or hasn't yet, I should say.
Yeah. And that's common because it does take some time. If you see people who have started a YouTube channel and they've got a video and it just blew up, it's probably someone who's focused on a consumer product. They're in gaming or they're, a Lego builder, or, one of those things where there's just a lot of eyeballs on it. But when we're in business, it's a little bit more challenging, which is why we have to really look at how we're building our channel and our videos so that we can leverage the SEO capabilities, like you said, with, YouTube and Google being the search engine behind it.
Yeah. All right. Walk me through, Vicki.
I can go ahead and walk through it. And then I can also pull up the document that I did a deep dive on for your channel and just kind of show you my thoughts behind that as well. Like I said in the intro before we hit record, I'll send that document to you after we're done too.
We're not going to have enough time to go into all of it because heaven knows. We have a good starting point, but it's just a starting point.
Yes.
I will tell you, I think the video with the biggest view has 67 views. It's tiny, okay, guys? So you just have to start somewhere because a lot of people will see, oh, she's got this podcast. It's been running for 4 years. Yeah, but I had to start somewhere too.
Yeah.
And the content is what blew the podcast up. So it's the same thing with the YouTube channel. Just know that it's going to take some time. And when it comes to marketing and my idea of long-term versus short-term marketing, YouTube is a long-term game.
Exactly.
Same with
that's what I always like to tell people too, is that if you're creating videos for Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or, one of those channels, you only have a certain amount of time to actually get the reach and engagement and get your message delivered to the people who need to hear it. But when you're posting on YouTube, even TikTok, but we're focused on YouTube, then you've got, like you said, that evergreen component to it where the videos that you post today can continue to get views and engagement and comments and leads and sales even down the road. And that's just something that can't be done on platforms. Yeah.
I'll tell my son, I want to start a YouTube channel. Mom, I'm like, okay, we'll get you one at some point. I just know what goes into YouTube. Like, it's like a business. You got to run it as a business.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, just so you know, buddy, if you were to start your YouTube channel at 8 years old, you're not going to make money from it until like 14 or 15. Like, it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
You'll probably even have a big boost because mom's got a network and I've got channels already. So
yeah, exactly.
I just give him a heads up. Like, you can start it right now. And he's like, Mom, I want a credit card. Okay. You have to put money on that credit card in order to use it. So how are you going to get the money?
Yeah.
And that's where, and then he sees these people and, the challenges and the crazy things that they do to their houses. And a secret room for $100,000 in my house.
What's interesting?
That's the kind of stuff he's watching.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that because I would have looked it up before our conversation that your son wants to have, be a YouTuber.
Mr. Beast trained people.
Yeah, there's an actual...
it's all those crazy things that they do.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. But there's a kid, and I want to say he might be 10 years old, but he has a YouTube channel, and it was within the last few months. I saw him someplace where people were talking about him, and he was making a ton of money. And all he was doing was he was showing how to put together toys or to use toys. And so all these kids and their parents were flocking to his channel because he was doing such a great job of doing that. Like, here's how you put this toy together, and then here's how to play it, or, and it was amazing. And in going back to the monetization part of it too, is that how these big YouTubers like Mr. Beast and all of them, they get paid through the AdSense program, which is the paid program that you have to apply for once you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours. But they're also getting brand deals, and they're doing affiliate links, and they've got programs and courses. And that's how everybody haven't gotten into that program yet. You can actually make a lot of money on your channel if you have those components built into your videos, and if you have them as part of like the description.
And he does it very well. They'll be like in the middle of their video and pull up some commercial, and it blends in so well that nobody realizes it's a commercial, but it's a commercial that he's getting paid for.
Oh yeah,
exactly. And that's another point I want to talk to these entrepreneurs about, is because they're always asking me, how do you make money from podcasts? How do you make money from... Yeah, you're going to get clients from it. In fact, that's the number one way you're going to get money from doing these long-term marketing, organic traffic flows. Mm-hmm. But you can also build relationships with people, and I want to highlight that. The sponsorships you're going to gain or have for your whatever channels you're creating come from a relationship that you've built. 99% of the time. Yeah. So start building relationships.
Yeah, that is key. Yes. And that's where you'll actually, because you're tapping into somebody else's audience when you're like in interviews to the individuals that you've had on your channel for the interviews. So they're going to share your video with their audience. So that's automatically getting you additional exposure. And then him or her being on your channel is going to get them exposure to your audience. So that partnership, just from a views and reach standpoint, it's huge. It goes a long way. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen, make sure I've got the right one up. Okay. So let me ask, because I know that we're doing this in a certain amount of time, what are 2 or 3 things that you want to make sure that you get out of this review, like while we're on this call together?
1, my goal with the YouTube channel is to, 1, make money from it.
Okay.
And 2, to get clients from it.
Okay. All right. So there's a lot that I could go through. Like I said, I'll send you the document, but I'm going to look at mostly. So this is like when you go to your YouTube channel. Actually, it's home. Sorry, I went to videos. It's same thing, just a different order. This is what you see. You also have to take into consideration what it looks like on mobile. So your banner is actually one of those pieces that I want to make sure that you can see. Can you see when I switch screens?
Yes.
Okay. So on mobile, your banner is hard to see, especially that bottom line. So when someone goes here, they want to know instantly, like, what is it that you do? Who do you serve? And whether or not they should go ahead and watch any of your videos if they haven't already. So an idea that I had to keep it super simple was, and I didn't do the design elements behind it, but like doing something like revolutionizing health from the ground up, whatever those words would be that would really capture your ideal audience or your ICA's attention. And the reason why I have these in here is it's a template I have set up for people, because when you go to upload your thumbnail, you may have experienced this, Kylie, when you were doing yours. It was like you had to kind of play around with it to like move it and get it. So this is like,
I didn't, but my VA did. Yes.
yeah, sorry. Yeah. Is that Kelly?
Kelly is one of them. Melissa is more my graphic design girl.
Okay.
So she's
So
doing
that's
these
something
things.
that she could do then too. So just looking at your banner, and then also here's an opportunity that's going to help
By the
you.
way, guys, when she says to create your banner, you can go into Canva, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Canva's got YouTube banner templates.
Yes.
But just notice that if you're looking on this video, and I'll describe it to you if you're listening to the audio, but she's pulled up a YouTube banner template, and even the text itself is just this tiny, if you were to take out the space, I would say 33% of the space is being used.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very condensed in the middle there.
Yeah.
And be careful again, even though Canva says like you got all this space to work with when it comes to your banner, but really you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So here you can see here it shows when you're under your channel customization, when you want to upload your banner, it shows that it needs to be at least 2048 by 1152, which is what this banner is that you were just describing, Kylie. The only problem is when you go to upload it, there's all these different ways that the device screen size sees it. And the reason why I have it this way is because that space within the white lines is what's going to be visible on all screen sizes.
Nice.
So I just made it super simple. But yes, this was designed in Canva. And if you want me to share it with you, Kylie, the link to this, if there's anybody that you want to share it with, I'd be more than happy to do that. So on your channel, right here is an opportunity to expand on SEO and really help people dive a little bit deeper into what your channel is
I don't
about.
have anything right there.
Mm-mm.
No. I just said more about this channel.
Oh, that's
no
that's
descriptions available.
Yeah, that's default. So that's just telling people when they go here that there isn't anything here. So what I did.
By the way, y'all, I want you to understand, like, I started a YouTube channel, and by no means is it perfect. We literally don't even have a description on there.
Yeah. And that's
so just start, okay? Start messy, just start.
Yes. And I love that. And I love the fact that you said start messy, because I applaud you for just getting on there and starting your channel, uploading videos, and doing all the things that you need to actually get momentum. And that's the key, right? You're never going to have a YouTube channel if you're not actually starting a YouTube channel. So you have to do that. So what I did was I just went through and I watched some of your videos and really got an understanding of what it is that you do, who you serve. And then I created an about section. Again, I'll send this to you. So if you want to use it or, have your VA kind of like work through it, CPT it, then, they can do that too. I do put in here. So when you're adding your about section, the first 92 characters are what's visible. So when we go to your channel, right here where it says more about this channel, it'll expand out like 92 characters. So that's going to be really the most important real estate of your about section, because whatever's there is going to determine whether or not they click on more and see the rest of it. And in there, you can include like links to other channels, or if you've got a downloadable. I know you just had a online event in October. So if you want to add that in there, it just gives them additional ways to connect with you and then also get leads. So it's a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Also in your about, and you'll see that in what I created to, take into consideration keywords on how you want people to find your channel, what it's about. Kylie, because your name's not on here anywhere, I would make sure that you include that in your about section. So people, they see you and they see what it's about, but they also want to know who's behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say to do that. And then I'm going to, so 2 other things that I'll talk about. And if you want me to go deeper, I will. And one way to do this is, so you've got your podcast link here, which I love. You can also create playlists. So this is a group of videos that make sense based on title or topic. And the way to think of this, it not only gives you additional SEO for all of those videos in one place, but let's say that you've got somebody that you're just starting to work with and maybe they don't have time for a call right now, but they want to, better understand like how you can help them. You could create a playlist on here that talks to them about, behind the scenes or, one-on-one consults. Just kind of look at the different topics that you have here that are themes. And then you can create playlists. And what that does is when you're uploading your videos, there's an option to add it to a playlist. And so that's just part of the upload process. And then it gives you additional exposure too. So in your document, I included playlist examples. And of course, you guys can create whatever you want, but this was just kind of like what I was thinking based on the content that you have on here. So I wanted to mention that because that's another way to expand your reach and get more SEO. Your videos. So the one thing I noticed in the couple of videos that I opened is that, and this is something that your VA can actually kind of like chop off, just the beginning or ending. But in the beginning of some of your videos, like you started it, you're recording, and then you started moving your camera around and kind of positioning yourself, which is fine. I would just have your VA cut that off.
That's not edited out?
Not in the couple that I saw.
Okay.
And the only reason why I say that, I mean, it shows authenticity. If you were doing a live stream, I would say that's perfectly fine. But if you're recording those videos, I would just kind of get situated first and then start recording or have your VA kind of cut that part out.
Yeah, some of these are used on Riverside.fm. So I'm wondering if Riverside, because I'll hit record and then it will give a 5-second countdown. I wonder if it actually records during that 5 seconds.
Oh, it might.
And I haven't been realizing that. So it's like, okay, we think we have 5 seconds until it actually starts recording, and it's not.
Yes, I would just do some testing on that first, or just wait until after the 5 and then start.
By the way, I'm going to hit record and it's already recording, even though it's going to give us a 5-second countdown.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So one of the most important things on YouTube is people are searching for you, right? So it's all about your thumbnail and your titles. And we have to think about this like everybody, whether you have a channel or not. We have to think of it from a user standpoint. So when you do a search, think about how you would actually like click on a particular video. And we all look at visuals first, which is your thumbnail. And then if the thumbnail is enticing enough, then they'll look at the title. And if the title makes enough sense, they're like, hey, that's going to be helpful to me, then they'll click on it. Then once they watch the video, it's all about those first 30 seconds. That is called the hook. You've probably heard people talk about that before. What you're saying in those first 30 seconds is going to be critical to whether or not they're going to continue watching the video.
Yep.
So you might hear people talk about packaging your video, and that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the thumbnail, your title, and then the hook, that first 30 seconds of your video.
Yeah, and I want to point out to those of you who are listening, go back and pay attention to how I started this episode. I did not say, hey, it's Dr. Kylie here. I have a special guest. Nope, I jumped right into the exact topic, YouTube. That is key. And it's key to doing that on every platform you're ever on. Don't get on Facebook Live and say, hey, y'all, it's me today. They're gone.
Exactly. Nobody wants to hear
seconds.
They already know who you are. Even in your posts, too, you always have to have a hook and give them a reason to keep
that number, that hook line.
Yes, exactly. When we look at your thumbnails, you've done a really good job of incorporating your brand colors. So I love that you've got that pink color in all of them.
We just made like pink, black, and gold, and I love the pink too. It makes me happy.
That's one of my colors. I've got the bright pink and the bright green. So I was just like, oh, these are beautiful. So what you want to do is on thumbnails, you'll want to keep it to like 3 or 4 words max. So like this one's really,
or 4 words. That's it.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Because you have to think of it as the thumbnail is what they're going to look at to get that's going to draw them in, something that's like enough. So like this one right here is great because you're like, stop doing this. And people are like, wait, what am I doing? What do I need to stop doing? So they're starting to ask those questions like, oh my gosh, and they're going to want to know. So
then notice that the thumbnail is different than the title, because the title would be my biggest marketing mistakes, but the thumbnail says stop doing this. So it doesn't have to match the exact title, right?
it actually should not match.
It actually should not. Okay.
Correct. Yes. And the reason being is because
And your ways great.
Yes, you did that amazing. And you've done a really good job on your titles too. So I was just like, wow, she's doing a great job on her titles.
That's my podcast team. Most of these are podcast episodes that are getting reposted.
It's very similar, right? Your podcast episodes and your videos. So I would say I applaud you on that. So I would just say to look at like one of the examples I did here, Dr. Rewire's wealth strategies. This is one of the ones that, so right here, oh no, that was under your 8-figure. That was somebody else.
She's right there, Natalia.
Yeah. So that would be a simple fix. So you can keep the photo as is and then maybe change it to unlock your 8 figures. And then here, you don't need to I know you're doing it to let people know who these individuals are, but it's also wasted character space when you're using their names in the titles because their names aren't SEO. It's not going to help you get more reach unless it's somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk or Mr. Beast or, somebody like that, then it's going to get attention. So in this example, I just did unlock their 8 figures, but it was this one, Dr. Deepa Matcha. Oh, here, this is a great one. So that thumbnail is excellent. I would just say to add it if you're okay with it and if she's okay with it, maybe add the dollar amount underneath it because she's going from doctor to entrepreneur, which is great to know. But what might be even more impactful if somebody saw she's a doctor and made, I don't know how much she made, but for simplicity purposes, we'll put 100,000. She made 100,000, but as an entrepreneur, she's making $1 million. And then you're showing that comparison. People are like, how did she go from being a doctor to an entrepreneur, make that kind of money? Right. So
people think, they say doctor, they're like, oh my gosh, they make so much money. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. And then I think that's all I put on here. Add dollars. And then her photo. Yeah, just adding the, for the thumbnails. And then here's where it was with the titles on Dr. Rewire. So you have Rewire Your Brain for Wealth with Dr. Rewire. I went into ChatGPT. So this is a great use of ChatGPT because it's not doing the work for you, but it's taking something that you already have and it's making it better. So I took
Now I said, that is what AI is for.
Yes, exactly. It's not to do your job. It's to make it better. So what I did was I plugged it into ChatGPT with this prompt. Please rename this video so it's SEO friendly and clickbaity. That's not clickbait. It's making it clickbaity, which means it's going to get it more intrigue and more interest, but it's still going to be the truth, right? We're not saying
that's what you're telling ChatGPT to do. That's the prompt you're giving it.
Yep, right here, the same one. And then I says, don't include the name because I didn't want ChatGPT to put his name in it again. So it came back with build your wealth, rewire your brain for financial success. So now you look at it for keywords. People will know when they see it that you're talking about wealth and how you can help them go from their current mindset to a mindset that's going to help them build financial success. His photo on the thumbnail is going to help them understand it's going to be a conversation. We're going to have 2 people who are successful financially talking about this. So that's going to help them understand what it is, create the intrigue. The title is going to be SEO to get more people's attention to it.
I almost feel like that one should be switched out to, because when I discussed this on that exact podcast episode, it was shocking for people to hear I have a $75,000 credit card limit.
Oh, really?
And I use it every freaking month and I go over it every month. So it's like $75,000 credit card limit. Like that would be the thumbnail to me. and then how to rewire your brain for financial success and know that credit card and know that debt can be a good thing.
Yeah. And you could actually get more interesting on that thumbnail too, if it's about going above the maximum. So you could do like a photo of the credit card. And then you could put like on the credit card, $75,000 max. And then you could even make it look like it's blowing up to make it look like you're going above and over it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like, what is she doing? She's got 75,000, so you have to kind of think about like, what are people going to say when they see that? That's a great idea. I love that. So I would definitely do that. You can go through any of these thumbnails and you can update them. You just go into the description or your VA, have her go into it and have her update these, with ideas like that. I think that's phenomenal. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about, just about the packaging. I gave you some feedback here on the hook, the intro, playlists. These are some things. I actually did a video on this recently on YouTube. So things to think about when you're uploading every single video, how to maximize your SEO potential in order to get the most views and really skyrocket your views. 2 things that most people don't realize that you need to do, and one of them you can't change once you've uploaded your video, is the video file name. So your video file name, and I showed an example in my video too, where I brought up an old video and it was labeled, it was a video about how to overcome mindset blocks. And so I was talking about my training for my half marathon. The video was titled Marathon 31st October or whatever. I'm like, that makes no sense. So it's an example of how that was like wasted SEO space because we didn't know at that time that that was contributing to the SEO ranking essentially. So
Really?
yeah. So
so you can't use like Zoom, blah, 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 whatever the video is called?
Exactly. So in that one with like this one right here with Dr. Deepa, you can put like the keywords in there. So it could be, doctor to entrepreneur or make $1 million as a doctor. Some of those things, like look at the keywords that you're using in that video and make it part of your file name. And you have to do that before you upload it, because once you've uploaded it, you can't change the file name. And then also keywords in the thumbnail file name as well. That's the other place, but you can, because you can change your file name or your thumbnails. If you didn't do that the first time, you can actually, upload a new file name or a new thumbnail with the file name. But here are the different places. I don't know if you want me to go through this, Kylie, on here, because it might be too much. I'll kind of you can guide me as to where you want me to go, because I know I've shared a lot already.
If we were to just dial it in and say, okay, focus on, we've talked about simple changes. Mm-hmm. It's really all they are simple changes. Mm-hmm. So if we were to dial in and say, make 3 simple changes to your YouTube videos and the way that they're posted to grab more attention and feed the algorithm better. Mm-hmm. 1, the thumbnail itself needs to be 3 or 4 words.
Yep.
2, the thumbnail and the video title needs to be different.
Right.
And I think 3, based upon what we've covered today, would be to change the video file name before you upload it.
Exactly.
Okay, those are 3 easy things that everybody can do, no matter if you have a VA or not.
Exactly. Super simple things. Things you're going to be doing anyway.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a wrap.
Yeah.
I know you and I could keep going for a while.
We can't. You tell me.
But like I said, start messy. Just start. Mm-hmm. And you never know what can happen, because I never had any idea what my podcast would do. I never even listened to a podcast episode before I posted a podcast.
Oh, wow. I love that.
You just start.
You're the queen.
I had this idea that I'm just going to start. I'm pretty good at starting. Oh, wait, Jason, you told me to go do a sponsors? Okay, done. 8 hours. Let's go. That's from a mastermind Vicki and I are both in. So I think from a YouTube perspective, focus on those 3 things. From a business perspective, build relationships. It's how Vicki and I know each other.
Yeah.
And that means that we have paid to be in rooms together, is what that means.
Yes. And it's so worth it.
And it's so worth it. Now, there are some rooms that you're just, why did I pay to be here? Just be in the right ones. But when you're paying to be in the room, you're surrounded by the right people. They're going to help you take your business to the next level. So,
absolutely.
Vicki, where can they find you?
They can find me on Facebook if they don't want to find me on YouTube. Facebook's a great place because they can connect with me. We can exchange messages that way. So Facebook, Vicki O'Neill.
And then your YouTube, where's that?
That's Vicki O'Neill. So they can just type Vicki O'Neill.
All right, guys, if you're looking to add more clients to your world via YouTube, or even have a side income stream from YouTube, it doesn't even have to be anything about your practice or your expertise. It can literally be about anything under the sun, as you have seen on YouTube. So if you're going for it, and you want a little bit of help and assistance, talk to Vicki. All right, guys. See ya.